So these days we hear all this conversation about getting in the right mindset and you got to have mindfulness and you got to control your state of mind. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how mindset doesn't stop at your brain. So what I mean is that we're not just talking about dealing with your mind, we're talking about mindset being what creates your actual reality. And if you break down what mindset really is, it's the language that you use. It's the little, the viewfinder that takes you to the different parts of the world that you see. And what you see through that viewfinder, it changes your experience of reality. It changes how you believe you're doing, what you believe you can accomplish, what you believe is possible. But, understanding beliefs and understanding your view and understanding your perspective and understanding the language you use, that's only part of it, because mindset doesn't stop at your brain. And when you get a better sense of what I'm talking about here and start to implement what I'm talking about, mindset's going to start to bring up images instead of just like really different ways of thinking and having the right attitude and being more successful in personal development and being a leader. It's going to start to bring up images of your calendar and taking calculated risks and understanding and reviewing opportunities so you can move forward. So we're talking about mindset. I think the first thing to think about would be to understand what the mindset is that you have on a regular basis, because it's changing all the time. Your view of the world is changing. I can't tell you how many times I get up in the morning and I get down and I start working, and I might have a conversation, as an example. And maybe you've had this happen where in that conversation someone says something, this file, we lost a file, or we have a problem with this client's project, or, hey, we're really excited, we have this new opportunity to go and speak at this event, or good news, bad news, whatever it is. But then, you might come into what you're doing with all these visions and thoughts about the great day that you're going to have, and then this experience of what you see and what you hear and what you feel, it makes you feel differently, because you give that sensory experience a different meaning. So you might think, oh, we no longer have, that client relationship, or we're opening a new office, which is something that I'm working on right now. And we can say that's good, we can say that's bad, but there's always a meaning behind it. There's always a reason that we give things a meaning. And really what's most important, aside from knowing all that, is knowing that we're in control of our mindset, which means we're in control of our reality. So when new information comes in, being able to literally flip that switch and say, am I in a growth mindset, in an expanding mindset, or am I in a contraction, a shrinking mindset? I think a great way to describe this that's really important is the idea that if you're feeling very certain and very confident and you believe a lot in what you're doing, and as a business owner, you've got to believe a lot. You've got to have a lot of strength and belief that you can make whatever your vision is for this goal, this quarter, this year, whatever, that it's going to come true. And you take that belief system and you start with tons of belief in yourself that you're going to hit that goal. Then you take lots of action. And if you think of it as what I call the certainty cycle, the first thing, if you get like a circle and you cut it in quarters, the first thing is get massive belief, take massive action, right? That's what you're going to do when you have lots of belief. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get lots of results. And the fourth thing you're going to do is you're going to have more certainty. And it's like you get this foot on the throttle as that cycle goes around and around, that your certainty continues to increase. And it's all based on your mindset. But if you interact with someone or have an experience or something good happens or something bad happens, that cycle can change every day. And where does it really matter? Well, it matters in how you feel. It matters in the quality of your life. But it also matters in your calendar. It matters in your schedule, the people that you talk to, that you engage with, the projects that you commit to, the action that you commit to putting on your calendar to move yourself forward. So imagine if you got that cycle, right? That certainty cycle. In the first step, you think, I just had this experience and I heard someone say something, or something didn't feel right. So say something was negative to you, and you now start talking to yourself with negative language. You start feeling kind of negative and you believe less in what you're doing. Maybe you have fear creep up that, what if this doesn't work out? And you start, thinking about the negative scenarios. And what happens is that becomes a foregone conclusion. You move from, lack of belief in yourself into the next step would be less action. You take less action. and you start seeking new answers. You start getting into distraction. You start moving towards the things that you don't want to do, right? And then the third thing is you get fewer of the results that you want, which reduces your certainty. So if you aggressively don't believe and consistently don't believe in that you're creating the reality that you want, you're going to go through that cycle, and you're going to go faster. You're going to go really, really fast towards getting results that you're going to be disappointed with. So what I'd like to do as we go through this, I just want to share some statistics real quick with you that researchers have examined the relationship between 10th grade students and their mindsets and their performance on national achievement tests. And I thought that was really interesting to look at, because we're talking about 10th grade kids here. And those who pictured what they were doing as growing and the glass is filling and I'm so excited and look, things are getting bigger and they're getting better and they're going in the right direction. The energy and the belief that they had themselves kept growing and expanding. They were more likely to see opportunities. They were more likely to answer questions correctly, and they were 3 times more likely to score in the top 20% on the test, on the national achievement test, with this stronger mindset, a growth mindset. And students with a fixed mindset were 4 times more likely to score in the lowest 20% or to fail the test, to literally get the lowest scores in the country. So they were all taught by the same teachers. They were in the same school, and they were studying from the same textbooks. What the study showed is that all they did was change their mindset. So they changed the way they saw what they focused on. They saw things as growing and expanding, and their enthusiasm and their level of awareness and attention really reinforced their belief in themselves, the action they took, the results they got, and then the future that they had in the certainty on answering the next question. And of course, the cycle kept spinning, building momentum, the wheel kept turning. So I start to think like, okay, so what can you do to improve your mindset? The first thing that I found works really well, and you can take a look at, is just notice your mindset. Notice, how am I feeling about that? And right away say, am I expanding or contracting? And know that if you want to be performing in at least the top 20% or higher in your business, then certainly want to operate in the top 5% or even the top 1%. You have to be in a growth mindset. You have to believe that what you're doing is getting better. It's getting stronger. You're becoming more capable. You're becoming more productive. You're more effective. You're more focused. And the more you believe that, the more you're going to notice ways to become better at that. So just notice what your mindset is. And if you start to notice that your mindset is taking you away from growth and it's starting to contract. Now, I'll share this with you. If you're in a contractive mindset, here's something that I've done, and it happens to everyone really every day, or certainly every week in business. So I start opening up this new office. I'm closing down a certain office that I've been working with and opening up one that I have more direct control over, that I'm going to be at. I'm adding some team members who are going to. My mindset is expanding, and then what happens is I run into some challenges with getting some of the furniture put together, challenges with some of the internet technology that has to be put in place, and with a couple of the team members. There's several team members, but a couple of them aren't quite ending up where I want them to be. So I get caught in the weeds, and I start thinking negative thoughts like, oh, well, what do I got to do? Oh, I got to make sure I don't lose money. Or I have to make sure that I'm careful about how many square feet I get or how much I spend on the internet. I start to have that fear and that lack of certainty. And what I do is I flip the switch and say, well, you know what? I heard this great quote. I'm going to give a shout out to Chad Cooper, who is a mentor who I've worked with and a coach for years. He said, and I think he's quoting someone else, but he said, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but it's the roadblocks, it's the hurdles, it's the challenges, it's the, what did he say? It's the breakdowns on the road to success. It's breakdowns on the road to success that are on the same path to success. So they're both on the same path. And what you do with that breakdown, and whether you think you're growing and moving forward, and hey, we're breaking down, it must be more on a journey. What you do with that information changes everything. So as recently as today, I was having the challenges that I was describing, getting my new office set up. And I was able to connect with some people who helped me really have some breakthroughs. And I thought, it's really growing. I kept going back to it. I'm really excited about what I'm doing, how I can help my clients get better results, help them get their clients better results by putting together this team and this office. and just things are really expanding, and I'm really excited about it. And I was able to keep moving forward, take even more action, be able to get back to my home office, record this video, even though I don't have the new office set up. I didn't have to rely on other team members to do it in one of the other offices. And I'm able to make more moving forward, more progress, more momentum, and to create content that I hope that you'll learn from and you can take action on. Because even as I share this with you, it's reinforcing it for me. It's helping me in the process. So, anyways, I just had a little boost in enthusiasm from sharing this with you. So what you can do right now is just take a piece of paper and write on that piece of paper, and maybe take 5 or 6 of them and put them where you're going to be working over the next several days, even month. Laminate them, put one in your wallet, put one in your car, put one at your desk, and say, what's your mindset and what's it doing with your calendar? What's your mindset and what's on your calendar? Because your mindset dictates the people you'll connect with, and if you're growing and expanding, how they believe in what you're doing, what actions you're going to take. And then you got to get those actions on your calendar. Don't get stuck in the details and keep moving forward. Keep grinding it out, because that's what makes progress, And if all you do right now is write that down, what's my mindset? How am I feeling about things? And then right away, as soon as you ask that, you can switch what you're focused on, and you can think, how would I feel if things were expanding? And you can decide, do I want to be contracting and creating that downward cycle of losing, or do I want to be expanding and say, hey, listen, I have a little breakdown on the side of the road here, but that means I'm on this journey and I'm heading towards my destination. And you know what? Every journey, there's going to be breakdowns. It means you're on the right path. So go and make those little notes. What's my mindset right now? And where is it? Where is my calendar? What actions are on my calendar? And start thinking about how you feel, and how the way you feel you can make a decision. You know what? This means I'm growing. This means I'm growing. As a matter of fact, on your little note, just write, this means I'm growing. What's my mindset? Because this means I'm growing. And that way you don't ever have to go into that contraction mode again. Okay, so one more thing that I want to add, just a little afterthought that's important if you want to, go beyond the thinking mindset, right? So once you get your mindset and you notice, once you say, am I growing? And you have that question that you post everywhere, am I growing? You want to go in and say, okay, if I don't like the mindset I have, how can I change it? So here's a way to change it, to shift the story that you're telling yourself and to plug into a new story. And that's to say, okay, what am I focused on? And decide to focus, it doesn't matter what it is, shift your focus on what you're doing that's growing, that gives you certainty. So just, take your focus off the negative and shift it over to what is going well and what is growing, and how are you making progress, and what accomplishments, make you feel like, hey, I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing what I need to do. It doesn't mean you put blinders on, but you shift your focus. Then you want to change your body. So morning rituals with, body rituals. Get up, move your body for 15 to 20 minutes. If you're feeling like, whoa, my mindset's horrible, stop whatever you're doing and go for a walk, or do 5 minutes or 10 minutes of jumping jacks. And it's worth it. So change your body. It's going to fire up your mind. I think a morning ritual of exercise for half an hour minimum every day is just critical. It's such a huge part of getting my mindset in the right place. So I'm like, wow, I know how to get things done and get off my butt and make it happen. It's just human nature. It's human chemistry too. Change your point of view. So here's what I would also do is look at someone who hasn't come as far as you. Look at what you're grateful for. Get to a place where you're thinking your point of view, get to the point of view of someone who has challenges that are dramatically greater than yours, or maybe look at the point of view of the client who really needs your help, who really needs what you offer. So you can help them solve problems, and think from their point of view of how important it is and how exciting it is that you're expanding. And just think from their point of view, and then get excited that you are in that role to help them. So change that point of view as you have the advantage. Things are working out in your favor. There's something bigger than you that's helping move you along. And just surrender to that and be grateful. And change the way you talk to yourself. Change the language that you're using. Put yourself in a state of again, gratitude, but do it by using language, a state of certainty, by not only just positive affirmations and positive self-talk, but start to talk about things that are growth-oriented Here's what I'm going to do. It's on my calendar. Here's what I'm going to accomplish today. And give yourself permission to take action, because taking action will incredibly change your mindset. So a couple additional tools that you can use to immediately change your mindset. And the more you do that, the more strength you'll have in doing it. So awesome to be here. I'm psyched to be sharing another video, and I'll be back again. If you have questions, thoughts, places where you're stuck, that's what I do. As a business coach and mentor, my job is to help you reduce overwhelm, get really focused on what's essential. And that includes the mindset that you use to put actions on your calendar and always be growing. To serve. All right, I will look forward to talking to you soon.